What's up everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to this commentary playthrough of Horizon Forbidden West. We have started to get really close to the ending, I assume. We've been doing a lot of like the final kind of quests that I was interested in and that kind of thing. And in general, I think I'm ready to really like give the story another run here and basically take it either all the way to the end or the absolute final point of no return. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to head back into the base, where hopefully Sylens is going to be, and Tilda as well. It's going to be a very interesting conversation and build up towards the finale of the game. So I think it's about time to get this game wrapped up. I think the last 15-20 hours especially has been strong, especially strong, I think. So I'm looking forward to the final sort of segments.
Hey, Mr. Know-It-All is here. You know, your focus buddy who never smiles. I didn't know what to do with him, so I had him wait in your room.
Got it. Thanks. Well, Sylens, looks like you finally found a door you could open without me.
I'm glad it's there, actually. It kept me from having to mingle with the company you keep. But enough prattle. I believe you owe me an explanation. Your plans for the Zenith base?
You're right. I do owe you. My spear in your throat for deceiving me again, at the Hades Proving Lab.
I doubt you asked me here for that kind of reckoning.
No. Right now, I need your help. So I'm giving you one final chance. But if you ever betray me again, I will kill you no matter what the circumstance. Understood?
Very well. Though we'll both face a decidedly short future if you can't get us inside that base.
Aloy, your other guest is here. She's, coming to you.
Thanks. Good timing. The truth is, I can't actually get us into the base. But she can.
Well, well, well.
The company you keep is even worse than I thought.
Not a fan of surprises, are you? Oh, look. That must be your little invention.
Does the weapon work? Without self-destructing?
Of course it does. I've eliminated the imperfections and greatly improved its design and output.
How can we be sure?
Care for a demonstration?
Enough, both of you. We're in this together, at least for now. Go talk to Erend. Tell him I said to give you rooms of your own. I'll come see you when I get a chance.
Oh, no. You first.
Oof.
Better get everyone in the control room so Tilda can tell us what she knows about the Zenith base.
Man, Sylens is glowing extra bright. I mean, who do we even trust in this situation? Tilda, I don't think you can ever completely trust Far Zenith 100%, can you? And Sylens with his track record as well. This is such a dangerous situation right now, but that's what makes it so interesting.
With Regala out of the way, Hikaru and Zanok, they're safe. The future's up to them now. I do wish they'd drop all the honorary names they've given me. But if I've learned anything about them, that is not a battle I am going to win.
She loves it, really. Right, I think that's it. There's no more exclamation points. Okay, let's have some important conversations once again. I'll probably just have to start lapping the rooms one by one so I don't forget. So Beta's not around. I don't think there's anyone around here. But I'll have a quick look just in case. Yeah, I doubt they've put anything new here as well. Nah. We're just going to keep on rolling. I guess we'll start with like the quote-unquote easy ones first.
I got enough trouble with Catallo, always kicking my ass. Aloy! You came back with some interesting friends.
Wish I could say we don't need them. But Sylens and Tilda are here for a reason.
Yeah. Enemy of my enemy and all that, right?
Right.
Pretty much.
You, talk to Tilda at all?
I tried. I don't think even a hot forge could melt that ice. And you say she wants to help?
I think so. Well, let's hope. I guess Sylens is keeping to himself, as usual.
I was hoping he'd give me an excuse to hammer his sorry ass to the ground.
Please don't.
You telling me you wouldn't want to get just one good hit on that smug face of his? After everything he's done?
Sure. Later. Right now, he's got something we need.
Yeah, it's quite rare that Aloy goes kind of 100% serious and says, look, I will kill you if XYZ happens. And the way that she said to Sylens, look, if you ever betray me again, you are dead no matter what the circumstance. That's not a very Aloy line. She's not that kind of person usually. So I do wonder, is it going to come to that, and will Sylens die at the end of the story? Because of course, the way this franchise is going, as of this point in playing the game, my bets would be on there being a third game. So does that mean Sylens lives? Does that mean he dies? I don't know. But it was interesting to me that she said a line that specific and that absolute.
Doesn't look like any of our guests are making trouble.
Yet. So, Catallo tells me you flew. Well, that's new. I've been busting my balls trying to learn to read. You're out there having all the fun.
Don't worry. You'll be getting all the fun you can handle soon. With the Zeniths.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I don't think they've utilized Erend enough. They know that he's like funny and he has good banter with Aloy, so they've kind of kept him along for the ride. But he really has been sitting in the base doing shit all for a lot of the story. So hopefully towards the end he really does sort of come back into it. But I do feel like they didn't really know what to do with him for most of the story.
I better get going.
Oh, you know where to find me.
I mean, if I remember correctly, Zoe had her own like personal major side quest. So did Alva, and so did Catallo. So the fact that Erend didn't have one, if I'm not mistaken, Erend didn't have his own personal quest like during the last 20-30 hours, which is a little bit strange. Again, it's a bit of a missed opportunity, if you ask me.
Hey, Erend. Aloy. It appears that we have some interesting new guests. I'm glad to see you're okay, though. I heard you gave the Tenakth something to talk about. I was half expecting you to burst in through the ceiling riding a sunwing.
Sorry to disappoint.
Okay, let's go.
Thoughts on our new Zenith acquaintance?
I'd say she smells like death, but even death smells of something. She's more like a cold piece of metal, bent on repelling all semblance of life.
She's definitely different. Have you talked to any of our new friends?
Erend and I tried speaking to Sylens, but apparently our tribal prattle is unnecessary.
Charming, isn't he? Ready to head over to the Zenith base?
Whatever comes, we will endure.
Okay, short and sweet.
I have to go. I trust you to keep things civil around here.
I'll make sure Erend doesn't punch Sylens in the face, if that's what you mean.
Thanks.
Okay, Alba.
Aloy, do you have a moment? You flew? Kotalo told me! And took out Regala's machines? You know what? I don't even know why I'm surprised. I saw we have visitors and a new weapon. Does this mean we're ready to take the fight to the Zeniths?
Almost.
Oh, and I wanted to give you this, for helping me get the data on Leviathan. I didn't really know what to give you, so I asked Zoe what you might like.
Thanks, Alpha. I'll put it to good use.
I wonder what that was. Okay, we have an extra little conversation thing here.
Have you looked through the data we recovered on Leviathan?
There is much to sort through still, but I believe we'll be able to get it operational and turn back the floods. And I've given more thought to everything we've uncovered about the ancestors. The Overseers would have us believe they were infallible paragons. But Pharaoh wasn't, not even close. His greed led to machines that devoured the world. The archive of the Old One's knowledge destroyed, just to erase his mistakes. So, when we learned that Eileen had a hand in covering up hundreds of deaths, I started to think they were all the same. Selfish, egotistical, cruel. But, in the end, it's not that simple. The truth isn't a straight line of ink on a crisp scroll. It's a splatter, smudged and faded on stained parchment. I wish more Quinn could see that, instead of looking the other way or twisting the truth to serve their own schemes.
I doubt Bohai would agree with you.
No, nor the rest of the Board of Overseers. As Eileen said, it's easier to believe the lie is truth, but it's worth fighting for. And this diviner, at least, won't settle for anything less. For that, I thank you, Aloy.
Nice.
I suppose you saw that Tilda is here. Our very own Zenith.
I almost went up to her to ask her, well, every question I've ever had about the legacy. Every diviner I know would kill to get 5 minutes with one of the old ones. But now that she's here, all I feel is a vague unease. I don't know if I'm scared of finding out more uncomfortable truths, or just scared of her. Probably both.
Yeah, don't blame you.
I hope our new guests have been behaving.
This Sylens, he's the one who built the weapon that can take down Zenith shields?
He is. Though I wouldn't expect him to answer any questions about it. He refuses to dole out his secrets to us lesser mortals.
Oh.
You know that special part of us that makes us warm, kind, welcoming?
Our spirit?
Yeah. He was born without that.
Yeah, that's kind of sad.
You sure you're okay going on this mission? I know things must be happening pretty fast for you.
I've already braved oceans and madmen who thought they were ancestors reborn. Why not a few immortals with lethal drones at their command, too?
Guess the more the merrier.
Okay.
I need to wrap up a few things, but stay sharp.
I'll be ready when you call.
Right, so there's... Oh, Utara Protector. That's a outfit, right? Nice. Designed for survivability in the wilds. Yeah, they're always weak to acid and fire, so I just got to watch out. If I encounter those two elements, I've got to switch. I've got to switch my armor. Right, next is Katalo. There he is. First of all, have a look at this. Examine the arm.
I see you've got your new arm ready to go.
Yes. It still feels strange. I've gotten used to the absence, but no matter. I'm sure I will need it before the attack on the Zenith base is through.
These rebel holdouts don't give up easily.
Okay. Let's try that again.
Haven't seen you since the battle at the Grove. How are you holding up?
I saw you fly on the wings of the Ten, and paralyze Regala's army with lightning. I would say that I am inspired.
Thank you, I guess.
It is I who should be thanking you.
Your people keep mentioning the wings of the Ten. What exactly does it mean?
The visions tell us that the Ten flew on great metal machines with wings, and leapt into battle from the sky for us. To imitate this feat is the ultimate expression of martial prowess. It is why the challengers leap into the arena during the Kulrut. And now, you have done it. Like the deeds of the Ten themselves, it will never be forgotten. So, tell me, how did it feel?
I won't lie. Pretty good.
I can only imagine.
It's cool to see him so kind of, like he said himself, so inspired and engaged with that, like the look on his face. He's definitely, Aloy's legend just continues to grow.
I bet people are curious about that new arm of yours.
None more than our Quinn ally, I assure you. She couldn't wait to take it apart and figure out how it works. I gave her the data I used to build the thing, hoping that would satisfy her curiosity instead.
Good luck with that. Did you meet Tilda?
There is something about her that doesn't seem natural. I wouldn't be surprised if my sword went through her and she didn't bleed at all.
Honestly, with her, nothing would surprise me. Things will get ugly once the Zeniths realize we're in their base. You'll need every trick you've ever learned.
I would have it no other way. Many soldiers died in the old world to make sure we stood here today. We will endure on their behalf. Though, I am curious how you intend to defeat the Zenith's defenses without an army of our own.
Leave that to me. Just make sure you're ready to fight.
As you say. You have more than earned my trust.
Yeah, he's always ready for action.
Have you spoken with Alva?
The Quinn is peculiar. Nothing like a Tenakth. Her mind is sharp, that much is certain. But it's hard to imagine her surviving in the wilds.
Trust me, she's tougher than she looks.
I will take your word for it.
You nervous about the mission ahead?
If I live, it will be in victory. If I die, it will be in battle. What matters most is that you achieve your objective.
I'll do my best. Anything new going on I should know about?
The Quinn has been more insistent than usual, asking about the visions at the Grove. Her pursuit of knowledge is relentless. The Ten would have a hard time fighting her off.
Just think of her like one of your chaplains.
Yes, only more persistent.
How are your studies going?
I wanted to learn more about the world of the Old Ones.
And?
I looked up this pharaoh Gaia said you went looking for, and learned about the plague of machines he unleashed. To think that the ancient world was wiped out by a mistake. A single miscalculation. There is no glory or honor in such a fate. Only hubris and pointless death.
That about sums it up. Think you're ready to put all your training to the test?
I am Tenakth. I am always ready.
Yeah, that shouldn't even be a question. We're done here.
I have to go. But I'll be briefing everyone on the plan soon.
Understood.
Okay, that's our companions done. That literally only leaves Sylens and Tilda, I believe.
There you are.
Yeah, we've seen that one already. Just making sure there isn't anything new now that she's here. Ah. She's projected one of her things. She's already made it her own.
I trust everything is alright.
Okay, let's talk to her.
Well done, Aloy. Despite my reservations, you managed to secure Sylens and his weapon. You're truly a shining example of Liz's fortitude.
I've been thinking about what you said at your house. How you were friends with Elizabeth. It was more than that, wasn't it?
Perceptive as ever. You're right, we were together for a time.
Okay, so... what happened?
I was an orphan. I had always been alone. By my 30s, I was starting to wonder if that was simply my fate in life. And then I met Liz. We kept running into each other at conferences. We'd have coffee. At some point, it became drinks. I thought it was just shop talk, an exchange of ideas, but then I was surprised at how much I looked forward to seeing her. Soon we were flying halfway across the world every other week just to meet up. For the first time, I didn't feel lonely. I could imagine a future where I wasn't. I think Liz felt the same way at first. She had lost her mother a few years back. I filled a void for her. I know I did. But as time passed, it seemed as though she wanted less, and I wanted more. And so we ended things.
So helping me, restoring Elizabeth's dream, it's what,
a second chance, yes. I made a mistake leaving Earth while Liz stayed behind. I should have done more. So when I saw you, a woman who has carved her own remarkable path, beyond even what made Liz a phenomenon, I knew I had to help you. To do right by her.
It's still more personal, I guess, than it seemed originally. Like, of course, her motivation was always very personal anyway, but obviously now that we have this extra context of the relationship she had with Liz at the time and stuff, that definitely gives it some new motivation and context as well. So, some more conversations to be had. Other Zeniths, your time with the Zeniths. Since we're already talking about her and Elizabeth, let's just continue with that for now, and then we'll move on to the Zeniths.
Why do you think Elizabeth pulled away?
I've wondered that for 1,000 years. She was brilliant, visionary. She cared so deeply for the world, for the betterment of humanity. But it also felt like she kept everyone at arm's length, including me. She never wanted to share her burdens. I think, in the end, she had a core that she never let anyone be part of. Sometimes I wonder if anyone really knew her.
I found a recording of you and Elizabeth back in the proving lab after Zenith's attempt to steal Gaia.
Yes. A most unpleasant conversation.
She said something after the call. I think she regretted how things ended between you.
Did she? All this time, thank you for telling me. I've always hated that those were the last words we ever said to each other. And that her last impression of me was as a functionary of Zenith, not who I truly am.
That's interesting. Imagine hearing that after 1,000 years of pondering what happened and could you have done anything differently? How did she feel? Blah, blah, blah. That's interesting. I mean, I've been saying, of course, that how can you trust Zenith, and I'll never trust her 100% in any case. But obviously, again, the relationship she had with Liz and how she feels about her and how Liz seems to have felt about her as well, despite things ending between them, it does give me a bit more confidence that she is going to stand by us and help us see this thing through to the end and not double-cross us and go back to the Zeniths or betray us or whatever. But we'll see. Now, I guess we'll continue to talk. We'll do these two and then we'll talk about the Zenith stuff as well.
Why did you make the data channel look like your house?
I built that house as a shelter to weather any storm. A safe place, not just for me, but for the art stored in its depths, cultural artifacts of incalculable value. Truly, some of the greatest achievements of human civilization.
And you wanted Beta to see them?
Yes. Her upbringing was so cold and technical. I thought if she could experience Vermeer and Rembrandt, it would bring something else into her life. A heritage every bit as valuable as the scientific and technical data being drummed into her. I'm sorry I had to cut off contact, but I'll never regret sharing this house with her. She needed its shelter even more than I did.
Yeah, it's basically a repeat of a conversation we had while we were already there.
You said before that you're not like the other Zeniths. That you never were. But you went along with all of their plans.
Out of necessity. I'm not proud of it. But complicity became a means of survival, both when Earth was consumed and when the colony on Sirius was destroyed. I did what I had to. But I resolved to remain one step ahead of the others, to try to undo what damage I could. Hence the data channel with Beta. The secret passage into their base and the little trick I pulled to save you.
When it's time to break into the Zenith base, what can we expect?
I'll go over the full layout once you've assembled your friends. Suffice it to say, we will need to push as fast as possible to Beta and Gaia's location, dealing with heavy resistance along the way. There are also printing facilities where the others have been amassing the natural resources they've stripped from the region.
What for?
First for use in the base's infrastructure, and then to fabricate more Spectre drones, a small army of them. In addition, they've also been ferrying materials to and from our ship in orbit. After hundreds of years luxuriating in our digital comforts, the ship was barely space-worthy when we made our escape. Disaster can strike at any moment. We've learned our lesson.
Have you figured out how Sylens' weapon works?
No, and he's been very careful not to allow me near it. I'll admit it bothers me, but regardless of how it functions, I am confident it will deactivate the other shields en masse.
How many of them are in the base?
10, including Eric and Gerard. Only a handful of us made it to our ship when our colony collapsed.
Oh, okay, we've got all of them. So, let's start talking about them.
So, Eric. Was he always a bloodthirsty psychopath?
I believe he got worse over time. On Earth, he was the founder of a profitable private military company.
Of course.
A band of cutthroats, in other words. Even as governments abandoned human combatants in favor of automated warfare. He found success with clientele that required a more personal touch. There were also rumors that he personally hunted and killed his targets. On occasion, all for the thrill of it. But on Sirius, he retreated to virtual reality simulations. In them, he could go on rampages as violent as he pleased, though I suspect with diminishing satisfaction.
All of his tribe believes he was one of the greatest people from the old world.
Then they would be quite disappointed to meet him, though I'm sure he'd bask in the adoration.
Yeah, it definitely seems like a piece of work. Gerard is like the leader guy, so I'm going to have a talk about the others and then Gerard at the end, I think. But Stanley's story was definitely very interesting, so I'm curious about him.
When I was in the ruins of Vegas, I found data on a man named Stanley Chen. I think he was a Zenith.
Stanley, ever the optimist. He was one of the good ones. When we established our colony, he built an exact replica of Las Vegas in virtual reality. Lights, shows, gambling, every detail perfectly recreated. And while others cloistered themselves in their own fantasies, he flung his doors wide to everyone.
The way you're talking about him, I'm guessing he didn't make it back to Earth?
No, he perished when our colony was destroyed.
No.
He would have been thrilled to discover that part of his beloved city survived.
Yeah, especially knowing his story, knowing that apparently, at least according to Tilda, he was one of the good ones. It's a bit of a shame that he died.
When Beta escaped and hid in an ancient research facility, I saw another one of the Zeniths. Verbena. Who was she?
A dull star amidst a sea of brighter constellations. Unlike most of Far Zenith's members who amassed their wealth through shrewd business deals and technological achievements, Verbena inherited her billions. Her father had achieved great success in the luxury holotourism industry. At age 24, she became the world's most eligible bachelorette, branding herself a life designer. Someone who leverages their fame to influence the choice of others.
What, like a cult?
In a way, yes.
Well, she must have done something right to have survived this long.
She was her own brand of ruthless. That much is true. But even rats can cling to a vessel for escape.
Okay, so I've had run-ins with a handful of Zeniths. What about the rest?
An array of the wealthiest people on Earth. Titans of their industries.
And let me guess. All selfish and ruthless to the core?
Most, but not all. There were a few with whom I got along. Annika Murjani, for instance, was always delightful. She founded the Holonet's most successful dance channel and was herself mesmerizing to watch. And I had fascinating discussions with Song Jiao about her work in cellular biology. Our immortality treatments are due in part to her achievements. But then there were others like Devin Miller, the CEO of a fast food printing corporation. His only real preoccupations were perfecting his golf swing and taking self-hollows. When I think about all of us, we really should have accomplished more. We had eternity.
Yeah, that's deep. Let's talk about the main man himself.
What can you tell me about Gerard?
He was the head of the world's largest financial conglomerate, and as such had dealings with almost every major corporation. It made him one of the wealthiest people on Earth, and certainly the wealthiest among Far Zenith.
What does one person do with that much money?
Buy more power, more influence. Gerard's always believed himself to be a refined patrician, able to maintain control with a polished smile. But beneath that exterior is a cold and calculating operator. It was his decision to restrict Beta's upbringing to her digital educators, the avatars of the Apollo database, while we were painted as her benefactors.
Well, we'll deal with him soon enough. And the others.
I would very much like to see his face when he realizes we've beaten him.
Okay, there you go. There's your information about the Zeniths. And I think that's everything, right? Okay.
Okay. I'll let you know when it's time.
I'll be here until then. And thank you, Aloy, for giving me this chance. My past has always been a struggle. More than once I've lost everything. But when I look to the future, I see Liz's dream fulfilled. A universe of new possibilities.
Maybe we can make it happen.
We will. I won't let anything get in the way. I promise you that.
Well then, okay. More interesting conversations with Tilda, as expected. And now, the main man, Sylens. Such an enigma.